I am Kate Edwards, president of Together Hospitality, and I'm joined today by my friend, Ashley Bradford. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Kate. Good morning. I'm Ashley Bradford. I am with Singer Equipment Company, and I do restaurant equipment and supply, anything you need to own and operate a commercial kitchen.
So how can a restaurant stand out using their tabletop?
You know how people would say, dress for the job you want? I think that's a really important statement when it comes to restaurants. When you talk to a restaurateur, especially a successful one, or a chef, they really know their audience. And they know what their audience craves from them, whether it's the food or the design or the atmosphere, or they want to see an old school reservation book.
Right.
They want to see digital. So I think it's really important when you look at the tabletop, because that is the face of your art. It's the face of the food, it's the face of the wine. And so tabletop really has an opportunity to really hone in that dress for the job you want, how you want your customer to see you, and how you want it to present the food and the final product.
Right, because they're going to interact with all this stuff. So then as a restaurant, how can you stand out amongst all that? It's
such a mix. You know, people do like to have what other big names have. They like to follow big trends, which is great. It is comforting to the customer to see those trends and see them, you know, at their favorite spots. But standing out is also not just the plateware, the service piece, it's the water glass, it's the napkin. A lot of times people like to customize things, so I think that's really important. Share plates are always a big deal, right? Like share plate and your water glass is the anchor of the table. Those are the two most used things on the table. There are plenty of ways and plenty of opportunities to set yourself apart. It's just a matter of like, how do you want to set yourself apart?
Well, you said customization. That makes me think of expensive things, right? So is that always the case or not necessarily?
Not always. There are ways to work in. I mean, it's simple as a cocktail napkin, a takeaway box that has your logo. That's not going to, you know, it's going to be an upfront cost, but over time it's going to be something that's very useful. Glassware, people don't know glassware is very inexpensive to customize. It does have long lead times, but as long as you're ahead of the game and you know what you want and you lean on the people that can help you figure that out, there are ways to customize and add touches to the table that aren't going to cost an arm and a leg.
And what are you seeing with your clients? What are they choosing to customize? Like, what are the pieces that they're going for aside from those things that you mentioned?
We're seeing a lot of like B&B plates. If they have like an anchored dish, like a pasta or a burger, something that they know they're going to be known for, they're going to definitely lean towards customizing that. They have a wine program. I have a great little wine bar in Brooklyn that the first thing they did was customize their glass.
And how are they customizing it? What are they doing?
They're putting their little logo on the glass.
Nice. Something I've seen too is people do sort of playful things. So like at the bottom of your dish, all of a sudden there's something at the bottom there that you're not expecting. It's a little surprise and delight moment.
Yeah, I think that's a real big trend right now. Several customers that have done that, and they continue to add that into the mix.
Right.
Because it's just such an extra little, like you finish your burger, this famous thing that, you know, they're known for, and then all of a sudden you have this extra little piece of art.
That's right.
It's really cool. It's a nice little lasting impression.
I agree. And then what about, like, we think of things like minimums. Is that really a big deal with this stuff or not really?
It depends on what you want. You know, there's always going to be a minimums because there is a cost of creating something that only you can use. As a distributor, we can help you with that. I mean, if you have a 144-piece minimum on glassware and you're a 30-seat restaurant, you know, you're going to need some help with that. And we have the capability of warehousing and holding on to product like that to keep from a New York City restaurant having to store 30 cases, which is pretty wild. But then also there's other companies that will do lower minimums. They'll do lower minimums so you can have a couple of different custom options. Now, the lower the minimum, the higher the cost. You know, that added value. We can also find ways to save somewhere else to make sure that you're getting that piece that is the face of the restaurant. And the lasting impression.
That's right. You had mentioned the opportunity that napkins hold for restaurants. What have you seen people do with napkins?
So napkins, there's, you know, your standard cocktail napkin. You've got your linen lakes that you can have in the bathroom if you have an elevated service in the bathroom. There's a company that's doing fully compostable cotton linen style coasters that you can pretty much do anything with. That's really beautiful. A little bit more expensive, but it adds an elevated touch, especially if you use it in the bar or for special wine service. Also, I have a customer that did a cash tray, which was really cool.
Yeah, tell me about that. I love that.
That group just does a really great job with their design. They put a lot of focus in, a lot of thought into it. It's very well curated. And it was their idea. They came to me and said, we want to customize a cash tray.
And when you say cash tray, you're meaning like what would they present the bill on?
Right. When it comes out, they have the bill and their card, and you put your credit card on. And it was just such a nice touch because, again, it's the lasting impression.
That's right.
You know?
And then how about this water glass? Like, I know in service, water glasses are so essential, but what are the things that you're helping people decide when they're choosing that glass that goes in front of every single guest.
Right. But when you look at an opening order and when somebody is purchasing every piece of glass or every piece of china, the biggest purchase and the volume purchase is water glass, because that is the thing that is on every single table, no matter what.
Right.
Every customer will touch your water glass and will utilize the water glass, right? So it has to be really, depending on your service and your steps of service that you are deciding to present your customer with, the size of the water glass is huge. The shape of the water glass is also very important. The durability of a water glass. There's so many factors that people are like, oh, it's a toss away, it's a water glass, I'll just do the Picardi Duralex tumbler that everybody does, which is a great glass, but people don't realize it's a 6-ounce glass. Right. So unless you're doing a bottle of water on the table, your staff is at that table constantly pouring and refilling. So, you know, it's important to not only have that durability, but have the size and save the energy of the service staff for engaging with the table in different ways.
That's right. So then what is the ideal size then? Definitely not 6 ounces. And I've seen people fill like Riedel wine glasses, which then is like 24 ounces of water, which is absurd. So what's the sweet spot?
I would say into 10 to 12 ounces. Yeah, 10 to 12 ounces is probably the best place to be. You can push it down to 8. If you want to have a little bit more of a touch point with your guests, I think it's a good way to do it. Right. But it's almost, you know, if you go to that 10 ounce, 12 ounce, give the server a little bit more time to spend time on the things that are profitable.
Now, so you were talking earlier about how you know your manufacturers, so you know how to like work with them to get the client the best thing. But something that you say a lot is lean on your vendors. So what does this mean for you? How does this show up for you?
We purchase in such large volume from all over the world, and these vendors who produce, you know, everything from Rosenthal to flatware and, you know, napkins. And we do custom linens out of Italy. And we purchase tons and tons of this product from these vendors and these manufacturers. So we have the capacity to lean back on them and say, hey, like, we're one of your largest purchasers and our customers are benefiting from us buying from you. How can we leverage that relationship that's going to be able to be passed down to the end user, who is our customer? An operator is thinking of 1,000 different things when they're opening a restaurant. Tabletop is only one little tiny piece, but by utilizing our relationship with the vendors, you can get much better expediting and much better visibility, and let us do the work. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what I'm here for. That's right. You know, if I wanted to buy something on Amazon, I could go buy something on Amazon. But if I want to have the service, there's a good opportunity to go to Nordstrom or Lord & Taylor or one of the other great companies that are going to have the service and help me with the work. Right. And that's what I do for my customers.
That's right.